Home rental rates in Alberta and many parts of Canada are rising out of sight. In this video, I will explore what is happening, why it is happening, and what the rental forecasts are for 2023. I will also explore a major factor that I'm not hearing analysts consider. All right, let's go. Okay, so what's happened? So rental rates across Canada are rising significantly. Pressure on the Alberta and Calgary market is particularly significant, and recent articles published by the CBC.ca and CalgaryHerald.com have noted this trend. So we're seeing in 2022, say in Toronto, saw a 19% rise in rental rates for a one-bedroom apartment and about a 16% rise for a two-bedroom apartment. During the same time period, Vancouver saw about a 23% rise in the cost of a one-bedroom apartment, and there a one-bedroom apartment is now costing about $2,200 a month. Now Calgary is seeing a significant increase in rental rates for the primary rental market. Now these are properties that were built from the beginning, intended to be rental properties, but they're seeing an even more significant increase in the secondary rental market, and these are homes and condos that were originally designed and built to be owner-occupied. I've seen single-family home rates in the Calgary area climb as much as 30% in 2022. So why is this all happening in general, and what is going on in Calgary? The first reason is demand. Alberta's population increased by over 50,000 people in the third quarter of 2022, and almost 33,000 of this net gain in population was thanks to migration from other parts of Canada, and almost 20,000 is immigration from outside the country moving into Alberta. If you account for the average household size in Alberta of 2.6 people, this means more than 20,000 new homes are needed to accommodate all these new Albertans. And the trend's not stopping. The second reason cited is inflation. We've noticed that everything has significantly gone up over the last 2 or 3 years. Utility rates have gone absolutely stratospheric. 5.7 cents per kilowatt hour in April of 2020 in Alberta, and almost 23 cents in December of 2022. Wow. One of the most significant increases in costs affecting rental rates is the cost of borrowing money, interest rates. Interest rates have gone up significantly in 22, driving costs for landlords much, much higher. One of the major causes of the rise in rental rates in Calgary and Alberta in general is really not something I've seen the analysts get into much: supply. Now let me explain. I watched house prices in Alberta and Calgary rise significantly through the first half of 2014 until the bottom fell out of the oil price market. This drop in oil prices decimated oil patch jobs, and the housing market stumbled. And this all began around July of 2014. And in 2015, August, September, deep dives started to happen in the real estate market here in Alberta. And this continued on through the summer of 2019. So what do many people do if they need to move or need to sell their home and they can't get what they paid for it or what they need for it to sell? What do? They rent it. Tons and tons of people rented out their homes and condos, becoming accidental landlords. All of these extra rental properties kept rental prices low, supply and demand. And all this carried on for almost 5 years. Although we saw early signs in the stats beginning in August of 2019, starting in the spring of 2020, the housing market in Alberta started moving upwards. Over the past almost 3 years, many of these accidental landlords sold their rental property. All these sales of rental properties decreased the supply. At the same time, the demand was increasing. Boom! Rental rates skyrocketed. Okay, so what's likely to happen in 2023? Well, if the last 3 years has taught us anything, it's taught us that the world is somewhat unpredictable. But let's look at these factors. Demand. People are more and more fleeing Canada's largest cities, Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, and they're going to more affordable places like Calgary, and the thousands of jobs that are offered in Alberta. Now this trend seems likely to accelerate in 2023. Inflation. Now Scotiabank's chief economist commented recently in the Financial Post that it seems unlikely that the Bank of Canada will be able to bring the inflation rate in Canada back to the targeted rate of 2%. In fact, it's likely that we're going to see another interest rate hike, probably another 0.25% imminently in the next few days, that will actually bring effective inflation for landlords even higher. And as home prices remain high, we're still seeing many landlords sell their homes, and not just accidental landlords either. We're seeing many long-term landlords begin to turn their homes into profit. Now, new construction doesn't seem to be able to solve the problem either, as they can't come up with a demand even from homeowners not along for new rental properties, although investors from BC and Ontario do seem to be pouring money into Alberta buying rental properties. It so far doesn't seem to be keeping up with the demand. It does seem like the Alberta and Calgary rental market may get even tighter in 2023. So what can you do about it? If you're moving to Alberta, it's quite likely you're going to have a tough time finding a property for rent. It may be a good plan to begin to streamline your costs, liquidate everything you can, and save up all of the cash that you can for a down payment for a home when you move here to Alberta. And good news is homes here are still way more affordable than they are in many parts of Canada. Even if you need to ask family for help, it's probably a good idea, it seems, to get into a home of your own and have that stability. Now, here is calling all real estate investors. If you are a real estate investor or aspire to be, Alberta may be the best place in the country and one of the best places in the world to invest in cash-producing rental property. Now, the laws and rental rules here are way less restrictive than they are in almost all of the rest of the country, so it's much easier to own and manage rental properties here than just about anywhere else. Now, holding Alberta rental properties certainly has been good for me and my family over the last 20 plus years. Now, I'm a local realtor here in Alberta, mostly in the greater Calgary area. If you're considering this area, I love helping people relocate here. Comment below or reach out by phone, email, text. I'm glad to help. Hey, please help this video get out. Clicking like certainly helps the algorithm to push it out to more viewers. And make sure you click on the subscribe button and the little bell icon to make sure you don't miss any future videos as they come out. All right, see you on the next video.